Hello, football fans. Welcome to Talking Tactics with Lloyd. Yeah, the season 2026 local football has started. We saw Matchday 1 action over the weekend where a lot of teams returned back to their normal selves, and we saw also a few of the teams was either a new technical team or composed of new player selection or players signed over. But I just wanted to sort of maybe summarize in context of the technical side of things how some of the teams apply themselves. We saw an Orlando Pirates, the defending champions, lining up on a usual 4-2-3-1 formation. Coach Wadu deciding to go with his tried and tested lieutenants, of course, taking into consideration what happened last season when he tried to experiment with the new players, but experience, I guess, in this time around was the safest bet, of course, without undermining the opponent on hand, which is a newly promoted champion, Milford FC. Coach Wadu decided to go with his trusted back four that brought the league and three treble champions collectively the least amount of goals conceded, Sibelebele and Hoto being the two fullbacks, Captain CBC and CM are defending our defender of the season, backed by Chain at the back. And in the middle of the field, that's where the selection really was, I think, was a surprise from an Orlando Pirates point of view, where he decided to start with a double pivot of Mbata and the young Cameron Dansin, who has impressed during the preseason journey in Spain and continuing his rich vein of form with a top man of the match performance. But another interesting aspect I will get into the performance of Cameron Dansin, and he played the two wingers, being Apolis coming from the left or the right hand side, Tito in a number 10, Moremi playing from the left, and up top was Mbutuma. So that's how the 4-2-3-1 formation looked on paper. But as we have come to accustomed Coach Wado's philosophy, you have three attacking players that are able to interchange positions and to move across the front line to create space and also link play when the team is in an attacking phase. But coming back into the defensive structure of things, I think Pirates applied themselves well. Of course, experience and familiarity playing together for so long last season, it was evident that the opponent could not really create clear chances. And when they had or when they were attacking, Pirates was always prepared for those attacks. And in midfield, I wanted to allude to the performance of Cameron Dansin. He played alongside Mbata as a double pivot on paper, but looking at the performance and looking at the positions that he was occupying, I believe he was more of a number 8 during the course of the game, where he was very instrumental in moving with the ball, creating play for our attacking players, trying to link both the defense and the attack. Whereas Mbata, he was not his normal self. He was more reserved or a deepest midfield option rather, where he was the one who was responsible for ensuring that the midfield does not get overcrowded and overloaded, where he could not play his normal ball playing game that he's been known of. But yeah, I think it was a first game, so really not much could have been expected. Although the results of the match ensured that Pirates starts their league with a title defense with a 3 points and a clean sheet, which at the end of the day, this the result is what matters. And coming into other games, a game like Amazulu versus Stellenbosch, where two competent coaches, Atazwane and Gavin Hunt, of course, being the coaches respectively last season. So it was a continuous work from the two teams. Amazul, of course, having made wholesale changes to their player personnel, they applied themselves well in that game as well, coming victorious 1-0. In terms of tactically, I think it was too early for the two teams to improve, or to rather make sure that their new signing gets into the starting lineup right away, especially with such a match being so difficult. But my focus point is going into the next match, which was the match of, or the last match of the evening, Kaizer Chiefs versus Kruger United FC. Yeah, of course, the expectations and all attention was on Kaizer Chiefs with regards to their new player movements and the new technical team. Coach Fernando de Cruz coming, highly recommended from a continent and expertise point of view. So interesting selection. Firstly, I've seen during their preseason, but I did not really understood what the coach intended to execute. But on the first match, I think it was quite clear. He wanted speed, he wanted a quick transition, and he wanted football or position dominance as well. When you look at the type of players that he selected, he went with a back four of right-footed players, playing Frosler as his left back, Monyane playing as a right back, and then having the two centre back pairing of Dudley. And yeah, so I honestly feel that that was a different Kaizer Chiefs from an outlook perspective, midfield choice as well. He decided to go with the more technical profile of Maboye and Ndlovu instead of maybe a more physically imposing Ox Mtetwa, which eventually he managed to come as a sub late during the game. But the two profiling of Maboye and Ndlovu being the more seated or sitting midfield option, and then allowing Maboye to progress forward and join in as well the attacks, where he had young Vilakasi left-footed playing from the right side of the attack, and in the number 10 he had a Chislet, and then on the left wing forward he had also a young man, Marmat, who came with a man of the match performance really up top, a lone striker being Silver. I think the 3 or 4 players up front, they combined very well in the first half, especially where you could see those quick transition interpassing triangles between the three attacking players. They scored an early goal. Of course, that settled the nerves, and playing against a new team, scoring a goal in such a manner with the new coach, I think it sort of just uplifted the players to continue using that method going forward. But yeah, over and above, I think it's too early to have all these different views and all on all teams as to who really is turning up and who's not. But from what the first game showed, if momentum and consistency can be built on that, I foresee a very competitive Kaizer Chiefs during this season, and one can only wish that a team of that caliber can compete with an Orlando Pirates, can compete with an Mamelodi Sundowns for the Betway Premiership League. It's beneficial for our national team ultimately. So yeah, that's all in all my weekend review based on how the Matchday one unfolded on the Betway Premiership. Of course, you've got teams like Sikukuni also coming out victorious, although technically I did not really give much focus into their game to provide insight. But of course, as the league continues, we will be sharing more and more on various teams. And with the focus this weekend, this coming weekend being the MTN 8. So, yeah, it's a cup final. Uh, a lot at stake. One mistake, you are out. So, I think the complexity and everything just changes. But we will get into that closer and closer to the weekend. So, for more, please like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and yeah, we can share different views on the football that this season will be engaging with. Thank you.